Okay, sorry about that. We're here today to ask for our elder, our brother, our father, for his release. He has COVID, and we are here to ask, please, on behalf of Leonard, and the first that's going to be up to speak is Gokee. She is the co-commissioner of the Leonard Peltier Defense Committee. Carol?
Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. On Friday, I received a call at 7:30 a.m. from Leonard in distress. He was sick. He had been sick all night long. He was coughing. He could hardly breathe. And so after the phone call, I contacted his unit manager, got them down there by 8 a.m. and they ordered a COVID test for him. The COVID test was not given to him till later on, probably at least 5 p.m. It wasn't until 7 p.m. that night, after Leonard had spent over 10 hours in the general public, that they got him down to the medical unit. He is now in isolation for the next 14 days. In case he gets worse, then he'll be moved to a hospital. We're not given any updates, even though we all have HIPAA releases, we are not getting anything from them. And what we have found out, when asking Leonard how he thought he could have contracted this, he told me, he says, there's people walking around in the halls without masks on. They're not enforcing the use of masks. They're not enforcing people who have suspected COVID to be isolated immediately. He should have been isolated. Right now we show that 20 guards in the Bureau of Prisons, USB 1 up in Coleman, have COVID. They're bringing it in and they're giving it to the inmates. They're not giving the inmates the proper precautions. They might have them in place, but they're not enforcing them. They're accountable for this. He got COVID because of them and their negligence. And if Leonard Peltier dies in prison, God help us. Because America's watching. Joe Biden, it's up to you to release this man. It's up to everybody to reach out to their congressmen, reach out to the president, call the comment line, send emails. Don't think it's futile, because every email you send adds weight to those requests. You're Americans. You have the right to speak up and tell the president what you want. We have a man who's in prison, been in prison for 46 years. 46 years for a crime we have proven he did not commit. We have proof. We have the original U.S. prosecuting attorney's office saying, we're sorry, but we screwed up. And we think that Leonard Peltier should be released. Joe Biden, we need you to hear us right now. We need him released. And with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Jean Roach. She's my co-director, and she has a few more things to say. Thank you so much.
Hello everybody, my name is Jean Roach. I'm from the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, South Dakota. I'm here as a survivor. My family has been abused by the Bureau of Prisons, the United States government. My brother was shot at 10 years old at the Ogalla firefight. We barely all survived. Most of us were teenagers. And nothing has ever been done about the wrongdoings of the FBI when they attacked our people. Leonard Peltier only protected us. What's wrong with that? Long time ago, they've killed our leaders, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, put them in prison. They're doing the same thing to Leonard Peltier. We're tired of the genocide. We're tired of the double standards that my people are experiencing. And with COVID, it's even worse. Our numbers are high. We have people dying all the time. And we all know that if you're high risk with underlying conditions, you're more apt to, pass on. But we're not trying to think in a negative way. We want Leonard in a hospital immediately. He has an aortic aneurysm. I mean, he's very high risk. He's a diabetic. Why does he have to be treated like a less than human? All the people that have dark skin, we know what we're talking about. And we're tired of it. We really are. We want the genocidal treatment of the double standards to quit. We want Leonard Peltier immediately released, and we can get him some rightful hospital care. The key thing is that in early moments of COVID, the early days, you can get treatment. He does not have access to this. Being in an isolation unit does not mean a hospital. They're just monitoring. He needs to have his vitals monitored on a 24-hour basis. And we were demanding that they put him in the hospital, and they also need to take care of their other inmates. My sister did 23 years. She had COVID inside the prison. She survived even though she had underlying health risks. And they won't even give her the right proper medical care. This is federal prison. And a lot of our people are in federal prison because of the sentencing guidelines that we have to face on the reservations. It's mandatory sentencing, which is not right. Back to Leonard. Can you please contact your tribal leaders, your Congress people, Joe Biden? Okay, we're tired of it. What year is this? The colonization and genocide has to stop. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody that's taken a moment to help our prisoners. It's not only Leonard, we have prisoners in the state penitentiaries. Why do we have to suffer, and why do people have to die? They can't hide the facts from our families that our people are dying in the prison of COVID. Now is the time to take action. We need Dr. Fossey to make a statement about the prisons. They are humans too. Thank you, Dr. Fossey.
Now, just so you know, that was Jean. She's been in this since '76. She was out there. She's a survivor. And she is what our women are, strength. If it wasn't for our women, we wouldn't be here. She's here fighting for the release of Leonard, who has COVID, which has many other difficult health conditions, but nobody wants to give him the proper help. Nobody wants to let him go home to his family. He wants to bounce his grandkids on his knees. That's all he wants to do. Maybe a garden. But that's what he wants. He wants to be home. And he should be home because he's wrongfully convicted. He is nothing more than a political refugee. And what he stands for is what they're scared of. And if that scares them, how many of us standing up will scare them to release him, to let him go home? Now, I'm going to give this over to President of the committee, Leonard's committee. Gokee. Co-commissioner, sorry.
Co-director, it's all right, it's okay. Any questions? Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? I've got all kinds of answers.
Have you received a response from anybody at Coleman?
No. Yeah, our attorney was able to get through and get some updates on day one. As of right now, we have not received one update at all. Nothing, absolutely nothing. We are left in the dark, as every family is. If they've got a family member that's incarcerated, they don't know if they're living or dying. They have no idea how they're being treated, how they're being cared for. It's a pain and an agony that I don't want to wish on anybody, not anybody. Leonard Peltier, the question was, what was he convicted for? Leonard Peltier was on the Pine Ridge Reservation in 1975. He was called to be there in a time of civil unrest. We had the civil rights movement in the 60s, then we had the Native American rights movement, the American Indian movement, to gain land back, to gain status, to gain their people, their culture, everything that they can that had been taken away from them. I'm going to let Jean answer this a little bit better. She was there. She was there on the day that Leonard saved everybody's life.
Yeah, one of the things that about being a WALA is we was helping the community. The community was being harassed by the goon squads, which were backed by the United States government. They have a program called COINTELPRO, and that was used against the American Indian movement like it was the Black Panthers. Okay, right now we are seeking documents. We have a few, but they've hidden them for 46 years. Okay, people have died in this movement because all we want to do is be able to live in our own ways or cultural ways. That's all we have ever wanted. We don't want all this stuff. We have a treaty with the United States government, the Lakota Nation, and they never honor it. And that was a treaty violation, having the federal agents on the reservation at the time. And also, there's a top 10 crime act, which they say they were looking for cowboy boots, that somebody got robbed. That's so hilarious. All their mistakes they have documented, and that's what we have, proving that Leonard Peltier was not guilty. Also, his co-defendants, Butler and Robidoux, were acquitted on the basis of self-defense. The FBI attacked the people. And most of us there at the shootout were under the age of 18. The people that were charged were the adults. So, yeah, they didn't want that to be known. You know, there's so many things that they've hidden. You know, the U.S. 7th Cavalry, their mentality continues in the federal agents, the way they treat us in inhuman ways. We want Leonard Peltier to be released immediately. And it seemed very suspicious that he got COVID. It's been 3 years almost that this has been here. And he's been safe in the elder unit, okay? One of the things that he didn't get was a booster shot, and others got it last month. I don't know why, but kind of have a feeling the same double standards we've been dealing with all our lives. Another thing that's suspicious is that one of the inmates that was sick coughed on him in the hallway, okay? And then when he told the staff that he wanted a COVID shot, a test, they waited till 8 o'clock that night. So I'll tell you what, how many people in this elder unit have been exposed because of their inactions? Reckless. And if I had a family member in there, I would be very upset at this point. In any of these prisons, all these federal, state, these prisons don't care about you. All they care about is the dollars. And another thing they don't care about is your human rights. That's all we ask for, is the basic respect and human rights. Well, I don't know if that answered your question. Thank you.
Does he have any other health conditions that are compounding possibly the effects of COVID?
Yes, his other health conditions include diabetes, which is like a pandemic among our native people in its own. He's never had a good, healthy diet, you know. And then he has a heart condition. I mean, he has several things. He's 78 years old. Why do they continue to pick on him and abuse him? This is beyond being incarcerated. This is abuse and, you know, elder abuse, if you ask me. He needs to be released back to his people. He could spend his few years that maybe he's left. After 46 years inside there, you know, it's just like incomprehensible to think about the tragedies and the unfair treatment he's been through. He's a very strong person. I mean, I can't even think of spending a week in prison, let alone 46 years.
Innocent.
Especially if you're innocent. And hey, we have a voice here, and we're going to use it. We want everybody to write the e-message to the White House between Tuesday and Thursday. You can call their comment line between 11 to 3 p.m. So everything counts, and we have Congress people that have already stood up for us. She can give it more details.
I got a question.
Oh, excuse me.
The percentage of COVID and he has Coleman prison?
Yes, he's in Coleman, one prison.
The federal prison.
Veteran. That's what I'm saying. People that have, people in prison, you need to check on them.
No, I'm asking more. When COVID first broke out in 2020 or 2019, the right date on it, what was the percentage at Coleman when COVID broke out in the prison?
2020 when it first broke out, the percentage of the federal prisons.
That's a good question because there's a lot of hidden agendas there. They don't count them as deaths. They claim 275 and over 42,000 inside the federal prison have caught COVID, and only 275 have passed away from it. I don't know. It doesn't click right.
Do you know the percentage?
They're not releasing any numbers, and if they would, it would probably be lies.
Yeah.
So there hasn't been any numbers ever released. Anybody else?
I want to kind of just bring up the fact that a lot of people don't know who Leonard Peltier is. As a man, I've gotten to know this man so well. He is a good, kind, honest man. He has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 7 times since he's been incarcerated. He helps indigenous youth. He helps a Christmas program every year. He helps with scholarships. He's an accomplished author, an accomplished poet. He's an artist. He donates every penny of that forward. Okay? And there's a lot of rumors out there of who Leonard Peltier is, a lot of FBI propaganda, a lot of lies. We work with truth. We work with who he is. We know the path that he walked his entire life. There's not one incident in Leonard Peltier's life that talks about, shows any violations or misconduct or aggression towards another human being. He lives for others. In fact, one time he told me, I never owned more than 2 shirts my whole life. Because if somebody needed a shirt, I gave them the one off my back. And I'm not dramatizing. This is who Leonard is. Anybody here that's ever met Leonard will tell you the same damn thing. So don't listen to lies, don't listen to propaganda. We got truth. We got it all on paper. And like she talked about, there's a lot of reports from the FBI that we don't have. What are they trying to hide? Come on. 46 years, what you trying to hide? Come on, bring it on. Let's see what you got. Okay? That's why you don't see it.
Can you announce the Democracy Now! show today?
We did have Amy Goodman from Democracy Now! was on this morning with his attorney, former Judge Kevin Sharp. We also had a big article from Michael Moore. We've had a lot of celebrities reaching out, musicians, you name it. It's happening. It's happening. People are coming up off of their couches and speaking up. And that's what we need all of you to do. Question? No? Okay.
Questions? Okay. Go ahead. Close it up.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Any further questions, you can direct that to the International Leonard Peltier Defense Committee page on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. TikTok.
Chat away.
Chat away the night. Yep, we'll be up. So anything you guys have any questions for, go ahead. We're not afraid. We've got the truth behind us. Thank you for coming.
Free Leonard Peltier!
Free Leonard Peltier! Rise up for Peltier! Now, rise up for injustice.
Free
Because
Leonard Peltier now!
that's right.
Free
If they
Leonard
can-
Peltier now! Free Leonard Peltier now! Free Leonard Peltier now! Free Leonard Peltier now! Free Leonard Peltier now!
And if they can do this to him, they can do it to you. It doesn't matter your skin color. If the FBI wants to put you in prison, you're going. You're going. Thank you.
Can we all get together for a picture right now? Can we all get together?
Thank you everybody for coming. If you want to know more about Leonard, there will be a short movie tonight at the Chataway, also for WMNF in St. Pete, Thank you. See you there.